This episode is brought to you by Brock's Peppermint Candy Canes. Whether you're trimming a tree, adding to your stockings, or making a warm cup of cocoa, Brock's Peppermint Candy Canes make any moment sweeter. And with their great taste and refreshing mint flavor, the holiday spirit tastes like Brock's. Brock's, make moments sweeter. Visit Brock's.com to shop the full range and recipe inspiration today.
This episode is brought to you by Disney's Mufasa, The Lion King. Get tickets now for the ultimate family holiday movie experience. Reunite with the characters you know and the untold story you'd never expect. Witness Mufasa's rise from orphan to king and see how the legendary villain Scar got his name. Disney's Mufasa, The Lion King, in theaters everywhere this Friday. The kingdom awaits.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Fergal.
And we're from Movie Smash.
Comic book movies are having a golden age right now with the MCU.
Movies based on comics aren't necessarily a new thing, but they're a big thing.
Join us every other Tuesday on Movie Smash.
We explore these movies and find some hidden gems.
Every other week, we revisit some of the best.
And some of the worst movies based on comics or graphic novels.
Was Green Lantern as bad as you remember?
Heck no!
Is Time Cop the most accurate time travel movie ever created?
Absolutely.
Was Mystery Men way ahead of its time?
Should they be revisited? Should they be forgotten?
Join us on Movie Smash and find out. Listen wherever you find your fine podcasts.
Okay, everybody, welcome to this merry, jolly, happy Christmas episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is...
Sesame, I'm the bestest girl in the whole world, Encarta.
Aw.
Yep.
I'm glad your self-esteem has been risen, you know?
Yeah, it very much so.
Wait, no.
Kind of like he is risen, he is risen, and then my self-esteem also had go.
Yes. When I was a little kid, whenever I heard he was risen or Jesus is risen, I always thought about like a cake rising in the oven or something.
Wow.
I don't know. I just conflated the two in my head. Anyway, so yeah.
Wow.
So I thought like maybe, you know, he went in that tomb and it was like an oven and I don't know.
Well, how they make those wafers, they gotta put them in an oven, don't they? So, like, you know.
Yeah, but there's unleavened bread with that, so they don't rise. So,
yeah, it's true.
anyways, today on the show, we are covering the greatest Christmas film ever made. It's, you know, a lot of people talk about like Christmas Vacation or It's a Wonderful Life or Miracle on 34th Street or, you know, Christmas with the Cranks or
Home Alone.
Or you know, Jingle All the Way 2.
Yeah, with Larry, the fucking...
Yeah. But none of them hold as dear of a place in my heart as the film that we're covering today. It is called Rapsittie Street Kids Believe in Santa.
Yep.
Yes. So this movie was a TV movie that came out in 2002. It was directed by a man named Colin Slater, written by Trisha Corey Stoops and Colin Slater. And this film, no joke at all, has an amazing voice cast. Okay, you have Jack Angel as the dad, Bob. You have Nancy Cartwright, aka Bart Simpson, as Todd. You have Jodi Benson, aka Ariel from The Little Mermaid, as Lene or whatever her name is. Yeah. Danny Gonzalez as a classmate. Serena Grant as Miss Parmington. Gray Griffin, also known as Gray Delisle, who is a Facebook friend of mine and regrets making this movie, by the way, as Jenna. Mark motherfucking Hamill as Eric, the bestest girl in the world's dad. J.R. Horstring as Zeke. Clint motherfucking Howard as Tug.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Walter Jones from the Power Rangers as Rick.
The main character, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Got Robert Marche as the principal. Andy Matheny as Debbie. Paige motherfucking O'Hara who was in the first animated film ever nominated for an Academy Award.
What? Really? Oh,
Yes, Beauty from Beauty and the Beast as Nicole, the prettiest
wow.
girl in the world. You got Sherry Weston as Peg, April Winchell, who's like a voice acting legacy actor, as Nana, and then as the great grandma, you've got Deborah Wilson from Mad TV.
Wow.
This is an all-star cast.
Oh, totally. No, it is totally. What the hell? Like,
I know.
sometimes I guess that's how it works out. I mean, we've reviewed a few movies where that's been the case, where kind of like, how did this happen when there's like so many good actors and other people involved? Like,
well, that'll just show you that that when you're making an animated film, there are a few things that are very important to making an animated film.
Yeah.
One of them is story.
Yeah.
One of them is dialogue. One of them is direction.
Yep.
And most importantly, animation is really important to an animated movie.
Yep.
Not sure if you know that.
Yeah.
So this movie, take a guess on the budget.
Million, maybe?
No, actually not quite that much. You were overestimating.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go with like maybe what, 50,000, maybe 100,000?
650,000, over $500,000.
Well, yeah, but they got paid the actors. Probably most of that went to.
I think most
the
of the
actors'
money
stuff.
went to that, and it may have also gone to buying Colin Slater, the director, a new Mercedes Benz.
Is that true?
Yes,
Wow.
it's a rumor at least. I don't want to speak ill of the dead. He passed away in 2019, but
okay.
there's okay, well, let's get into the movie and then I can get into some trivia and stuff afterwards. What are your initial thoughts of this film?
I don't know, man. Like, I watched half of it last night before I went, and I watched it, all of it again today. My niece, she liked it, and I'm like, okay, I guess, turn off her crap of like, oh, what happens if we drink acid? Whatever, crap like that.
It's like my 5-year-old great niece, she enjoys watching videos of like adults playing with like Paw Patrol dolls and talking like they're kids and stuff. So I mean, I guess that makes sense for this generation. I'm not sure.
Like, we should make a YouTube channel where we do stuff like that, because I was like studying one of these videos, like the techniques they do. Like, they'll make like a sound effect at one point, or they'll have like text going on after they say something, or they'll zoom in on the camera for like a split second. And so I was like, all these little techniques to like get people excited, like kids excited, especially. I'm like, oh, they know what they're doing. They know exactly.
I literally sat for 2 hours one day with my niece watching literally this couple play with Paw Patrol dolls.
Because it feels like there's like a connection with someone, because like pretty much like we're all like parasocial these days, and so
but you don't even see this couple. You see their hands. They're like,
okay.
It's from it's like, and they're doing the voices like, hi, I'm so and so, whatever. I don't know the Paw Patrol characters' names, but and then it'll be like, oh, so and so's going down the slide. They're at a park,
right, in
public doing this and filming it on their iPhone or whatever, and I'm just their camera.
That's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Okay, those are my initial thoughts. Is very, very confusing, I guess I would call it. I would call it confusing. That's the only word I could think of really right now. Very, almost like a fever dream. That's the thing I know I say that a lot, but really that's how it felt like, where you're just kind of going in and out of consciousness. I mean, this time around, I literally was going in and out of consciousness because I was sort of sleeping here and there. So but that's how it felt, was having like a hot head and watch random, and then you end up having a dream where you're like this Nicole person or whatever, and you're like random telling your mom that you're the bestest girl in the whole wide world, which I didn't realize bestest is a word, but apparently it is. So
yes, I mean, that's what I tell my parents all the time. I'm the bestest girl in the whole wide world.
Yep.
And then they look at me and they're like, Mike, you got issues. I think this is quite possibly one of the worst things we've ever watched on the show. It's up there with some of those other animated ones we watched. I can't remember the name of
Joshua the Promised Land.
Yeah, something like that. It's like, actually that has better animation than this.
Oh, it did. Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so what's the story here? What's going on? If you can call it that.
But the story could be like basically described in like 2 sentences. So this kid named Ricky, apparently he likes to rap or rhyme all the time. I didn't mean to do that, but like, and like apparently that like pisses everyone off because he's always like speaking in rhymes. Like even his teacher's kind of like, okay, like shut the fuck up, like you're in class now. Like she wasn't. She was getting mad at him, like because he kept rhyming, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm really sorry." He keeps doing it again because he can't help
She
himself.
really needed her recess because I think she needed to do some meth or something. I don't know what was going on, or maybe at least a cigarette. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, something. And so they go out. He's got a crush on this girl named Nicole, who, mind you, she looks like she's like maybe like 5 years older than him. And like none of the kids here look age appropriate for like the grade they're supposed, like except for Rick.
Well, the thing is, they never say what the grade they're in. It's just that they're in elementary school. And yeah, and by the way, when they show the school in this movie, there's a sign that says Rapsittie Elementary School, and underneath it says like something about excellence, and they spell excellence wrong.
That's great.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was watching. I was like, oh, okay. I can't remember how they spelled it, but I know that some of the letters were transposed. So
yeah, maybe that was a joke. I don't know. So Ricky, he wants to buy a gift for the bestest girl in the whole wide world, and can't afford it. So then he decides to give her like a teddy bear that his deceased mother gave to him when he was a little kid. So he thought, well, maybe I'll give this to her because I don't have anything else to give her. And she doesn't really want anything to do with them.
She's a little bitch.
Oh yeah, she's a piece totally. She's not the bestest girl in the whole wide world. Not even maybe the worst possibly.
Yeah, I'm gonna say she's the worstest girl in the whole wide world. Yep.
Yeah, I hate her. Anyway, well, she becomes good later on, but like, so the anime, I don't even know. Like, there's like this weird kid, like an emo kid, like who's always doing weird shit. I don't know. And there's like a really hyper kid who's like dancing around all the time, talking about a sandwich. I don't know. And then
that's another kid, Smithy. Is his name? He's like Smithy. He's like he I think he's like Rick's like best friend or something.
Yeah, he's one of his like actual friends, like not just the people he hangs out with, but like a real friend. That's the other weird thing about this movie. You call the movie this whatever, and then the project is that they like let him hang out with them, even though they're not like really, which is I thought it was kind of weird. Cause usually that's not the case. Like if someone's gonna exclude you, they usually like they don't like 50%. Like, well, we kind of let them like hang out with us and stuff here and there, but like we don't really hang out with them. Like that's usually not what happens. But whatever. So they're like ice skating for recess after their teacher basically sent them out. Like, just get the fuck out of here. Like, I need a break from you guys. And like, you don't even know.
Did you ever ice skate at a recess when you were a kid?
Oh, that's the other thing. I don't remember ice skating rink or pond. That's dangerous. I mean, right there. Like, no, absolutely not. I wouldn't even think of doing something like that. And there's like this weird thing where they're like jumping on each. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like when they jump on each other, it's like their bodies are like stiff. Like there's like no fluid motion in their legs. They just jump and like
the animation is just horrible. Like when it comes to like the mechanics of moving, like a lot of the characters don't even have knee joints, so they kind of glide across and stuff. And the thing that was really bothering me is like Ricky, whenever he walks anywhere, and I think the other characters too, they never use the fucking like sidewalks or stuff to get into a house. They cut right through the yard while it's full of snow and stuff. I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? There's a shoveled sidewalk just like 20 feet from you here, dude. Like,
I know, it's a bunch of idiots. And like when they went home for school, it was like they were showing like a background that almost looked like The Sims to me, like the original Sims, like from the 90s. And they're like practically speed running like the Flash to their homes. I'm like, okay, that's pretty fast. But then at the same time, like when they hit a basketball, the basketball like goes really slow. So like we live in a weird universe where like objects move really, really slow, but you can also run really fast. So I don't really like that.
Yeah, you can run fast, but when you kick a basketball, it loses gravity and it just kind of floats, like a balloon. It's like
I don't know what kind of world we're living here in this universe. The Rapsittie, the art, and the other movie that these people did, the Rapsittie or whatever.
The film was made. It was animated in 3D choreographer a consumer-grade CGI animated program with effects provided by Adobe Photoshop and Adobe After Effects. Yeah, I'm just going to emphasize the fact that it was consumer-grade CGI animated program for something that cost $650,000.
Yep. So
7 years after Toy Story came out.
Exactly 7 years after fucking the Toy Story 1 kind. I swear to God. I mean, there was even good stuff before, like 92, 91, they had that movie Cool World, which was like part animation, part real people.
But this is like CGI, like that was 2D animation.
Okay.
Yeah, but see, like, I mean, because like really the first feature film done with 3D, well, the first like commercial feature film done in CGI 3D animation was Toy Story, but still, it's like, but between then, you had a few. I mean, even Toy Story 2 had come out before this, so
exactly, yeah, that came out what 98, 97, something.
It might have been 2000, somewhere around there, but it was like, yeah,
and I don't know, man, like they were like this running gag was that they were always trying to steal Smithy's sandwich for lunch. But like, it seems like he has an endless supply of sandwiches. Like he just eats one and then he's got another one like later on. Like it's like, we're talking like submarine sandwich, like foot long. Like this, you should not be eating 2 foot long sub sandwiches within like an hour time. Like, like, come on.
Well, like you do know that, Jared, the Subway guy, did like kids. So maybe.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Exactly. God,
he was just supplying Smithy with.
Yeah, it was a lifetime. What do they call it? You can get subs anytime. No, it's terrible. And so Subway's got a bad rep. Because they had that problem with that dude who calls himself Dr. Disrespect. It's like some YouTube guy or whatever. And I don't really know what he is, but like he always wears like a weird black wig and like stupid sunglasses and like a fake mustache. And he, there's some controversy with him. I guess he was like having like inappropriate conversations with like a 17-year-old girl. So it's not like the same thing as Jared Wood's like 10-year-olds, but still, it's like you come on, get out of their DMs. Come on, you're like a 35-something year old man at the time. But get out of there. It's bullshit. Quit being weird. And so, but then they also had to say Subway promotion with him once, and he even said something like for the kids, get your or something like that. Like,
it's
terrible.
Stakes.
Yep. And so like they tackle Smithy a few times. This one kid's like holding on to a scarf, I guess, trying to get off the rink or something. I don't remember exactly what was going on with that, but Smithy kept a sandwich and then I guess he ate it, or maybe holding on. That's the other weird thing. Just gonna hold on to a sandwich all day long. That's kind of weird too. Like like who does that? Like who just walks around holding a sandwich all day long? Like no.
This is the same world where people just walk through the snow too.
Exactly. So, it's like all the rules in this universe are very strange. And so and then like so Ricky, he ends up giving that's the other thing too. So like there's like this weird daydream he has at one point where he imagines giving Nicole the teddy bear. And like the teddy bear again just floating around because apparently objects float in this universe, not people. Objects.
The teddy bear looks like 2D pasted on top of the 3D animation, so it's not even. It looks like a flat teddy bear.
And it's circling Nicole, like circling her body, like just I don't understand what that was even supposed to do, but I guess I don't know what that was supposed to symbolize, her heart, or I don't know. And so he ends up giving her a teddy bear, and she yells at him because it's like a baby toy, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah.
And she throws it in the trash, a dumpster right in front of him. And then I'm like, that's why I think she's a piece of shit. She's definitely not.
I'm trying to figure out why he has a crush on her. Is it just because he thinks she's cute? Because, normally when I had a crush on a girl when I was a kid, it wasn't just because she was cute. It was because she was cute and nice. It wasn't like, I had crushes on the snobby girls in my class or something,
I think instead he probably just idealized her. And I mean, I don't think we should get into psychoanalysis of the Rapsittie.
No, I won't spend the next 3 hours discussing. I'm joking.
Yes. So I think he may have just idealized her and thought maybe she might be nice. And so, but I think he realized, because she threw his gift right into the dumpster right in front of him. And he did kind of talk back. He's like, you're stupid or whatever. or someone who's so smart, you are stupid or something like that. And he goes home sad, writes a letter to Santa to get some toy he wants, but to also he also writes to Santa to give Nicole whatever she wants. Like, dude, give up on her. Like, what the fuck? Like she threw your gift in the trash right in front of you. She couldn't even wait for you to leave. Like, she did it so you could watch. Like,
It doesn't deserve you, dude.
Exactly. But so, of course, something magical happens where his letter flies out of the mailbox or didn't make it or something like that. And by the way,
it lands in Nicole's front yard.
yeah, because there was like this huge like musical number where she's in her room like talking about Santa and the best girl in the world or something like that. I don't know, whatever. And then wasn't that bad of a song, to be honest. But it's like that's the weird thing. Yeah, go ahead.
And I want to remind you that Paige O'Hara,
Yes,
Belle from Beauty and the Beast, was singing that.
exactly. And a lot of the music in this movie is actually pretty good. It's just very strange. They like hear these really the kind of decent songs and like in this really weird movie. It's like, yeah,
I mean, one of the most iconic Disney voices ever.
I know, and she's playing this Nicole. I don't know. She looks weird too. The animation looks fucking weird, man. Like, I mean,
she looks like she's about a foot taller than Ricky, and it's like.
Yeah, you got these other kids that my dad was saying too. The one kid with the scarf, I think it's Smithy.
Yeah,
he said he reminded him of the guy from I Think You Should Leave, where the guy does the prank show in the mall and he looks all weird. He said it reminds him of that guy.
And then you're like main little like bully or whatever, Todd. It's just Nancy Cartwright doing her like Nelson voice or whatever. Is that the character, the bully on The Simpsons? It's basically that same voice.
His voice is so high for like a kid that's like already like 5 feet tall, like that. And I don't know, just a bizarre ass movie. So basically just a speed run. She sees the letter, she feels bad throwing it away because she felt sorry for him. So then she basically spends the next day basically looking through the trash trying to find the doll to give it back to him. So she becomes a good person by the end of
with her friend Lene voice. Jodi Benson.
Yep.
Probably in your top tier Disney princesses, we've got like 2 of the top 5 in this movie. I'm sorry, it's just
it's very straight. I'm starting to wonder if it was one of those movies like Joshua and the Promised Land, which it was supposed to be like a really good movie, but then something just maybe they ran into a lot of problems along the way, and then that this is just like the end product,
I've got some history to talk about.
I want to hear about this history. So basically, Nicole gives it back to him. She becomes a good person by the end, although she's still a little bit cocky about it. So it's like, if you're really a good person, you shouldn't think you're great. So maybe she's on the road halfway there. So
I mean, and you get Mark Hamill playing her dad, giving some of the like lamest dialogue. I mean, he's like the mom says to him, oh, I bought you I didn't have time to dry clean your suit, so I just bought you a new one. And he's like, well, that's how I get most of my suits.
I know, it's just like, you rich asshole piece of shit. Anyway, but there is one extra thing I wanted to mention. I forgot. So Smithy at one point lures Nicole and what's her name? Nicole's friend Lene into like this weird like abandoned warehouse thing. And he even said something like, I like creeping out creepy girls. I'm like, okay. And then like later, then they're in there, he's like, I could blackmail you. I'm like, oh, okay, this is getting really dark. Like, what the fuck is he planning?
Not to mention the fact that, earlier in the film, I want to point out that Nicole found this letter sealed in her front yard with a stamp on it. Opening that up is a federal offense that you could go to jail for years for.
I mean, she's a kid, so probably, they're not going to
I'm just going to give a warning to our listeners that live in the United States, at least. I don't know. I'm sure the laws are similar in Great Britain or wherever else that you're listening. But if you see a letter on the ground, just put it in a mailbox or take it to the nearest post office.
You can't.
Don't open it,
I mean, like, if you live with someone, maybe they'll open your mail, but that's not really a big deal. But like, even then, they probably still shouldn't do it. But
technically, technically, even if you like get mail from somebody that used to live in your apartment, like the previous tenant or something, I think if you open that, it's technically against the law. You're supposed to return it. So
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's not your mail.
Yeah,
I forgot about that point, that she actually opened the letter that wasn't just like flying loose or whatever. But I don't understand these people, man. I don't know what they're thinking. Like,
Yeah, but so basically at the end, she gets a video box.
A video box. What does that mean?
I don't know. Is it a DVR? Is it a
video game? Is it? I mean, we don't know what it is. It's
like their like in-universe version of a PlayStation or an Xbox, or what is it? You know,
right.
So it's like, yeah, it's a video box. And that's what Ricky wanted. So she goes and gives it to him and says that, oh, Santa delivered this to the wrong house. Yeah.
Did he? And
no, considering it was from her grandmother, but
that's the same. So her grandmother gives her like, she's like,
oh no, it's like from her aunt. I'm sorry, not her grandma, but still, yeah, same thing. But yeah.
Like, she gives me the best presents. Like, that's the other thing too. That's like her mom puts that behind the tree, which is like supposed to be like her final present because that's supposed to be like the best one. And it's like she grabs that one first. I'm like, okay, you idiot. Like, you're supposed to wait. You're not supposed to go. And I did that once when I was a kid. I feel horrible. I still feel horrible to that day that like I ended up opening like the best gift like right up front, and then like my aunt wasn't even in the room when it happened, so she couldn't even like be there. Or whatever. It was like some football video game. I don't even remember what it was.
Then it sucks for you too if you end up like opening your like worst presents last, and you're like you get like a Nintendo, and then you get like socks. You know, you just like,
right, like, oh, thank you so much for this. Actually, these days though, I like extra socks, so it's
fine.
I mean, whatever.
You know, and as an adult, your gift, you know, choices change. But like,
oh, of course, yeah. When you're a kid, you don't want socks for. Yeah. I mean, it's nice, like you get some clothes, that's cool. But like, and so, but the thing is too, like her parents are so oblivious. I mean, for one thing, they already don't know that she's a piece of shit, so that's one thing. But like, she gets the box and she immediately is like, "I'm gonna hang out with my friend," and she just takes it with her. I'm like, okay.
It's Christmas morning. Don't you want to spend it with your family?
And she just walks away with the new present, and they're just like, "Hey, what a."
That's bad writing. I mean, because the thing is like the character development in this thing is like it exists, but it's abrupt. Like it's like, oh, I'm a bitch. Oh, I'm a lover. No.
No, that's a good one. That's what was it? Natalie Merchant? Was that?
No, that was can't remember her name. Meredith.
Oh, it's on.
Meredith Brooks. Yeah,
Meredith Brooks. Yeah, I know what song you're talking about. And yeah, she was good. But there's one more thing too. So like Ricky, like he's living with his great grandmother, so not his grandmother, which that would have made more sense. But for some reason, they had to go one generation further out, having been raised by his great grandmother, and like. She doesn't like, she talks, but the only word you could understand is Christmas. I don't know what that, like, it sounded like they sped up her voice.
At one part, she actually does have a line of dialogue towards the end. She's like, I still believe in Santa, you know, after all these years or whatever. So, yeah. But, yeah. So, no. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Give me the trivia. I want to learn about this stuff.
The voice is like all kind of like, you know, fucked up and everything. Okay. First off, there was, because we are at the end of the movie, there was supposed to be a sequel.
Oh god!
Because they were expecting this to be like a great hit, and it was going to be an Easter sequel to it. So yeah, it's announced right at the end of the movie too, and then it never happened.
It never happens. Like, yeah, okay,
yeah. So basically, okay. Here's let's see. I can find some stuff here. Okay, so all right. According to there's a long story here behind this. So with the production, like I said, it cost over $500,000 to make this movie. A lot of the funding from documentaries that I saw. So Nancy Cartwright, who you know is like rich as fuck from being Bart Simpson for all those years. Mm-hmm. She's also like, you know, just randomly, she just a random fact about her is she's Sabrina Carpenter's aunt.
Really? Oh god, I love her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a more important thing about her is she's one of the highest donators to Scientology in the world.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's been a Scientologist since like 1991 or something. She so supposedly, I believe that the writer director of this movie is also a Scientologist. And he knew Nancy, so that is how he got some of the funding for the movie, and then was able to get a producer involved on the film to fund more money But Nancy's one of the producers of the film as well. And she, using her connections, was able to get people like Mark Hamill and Grey Griffin and other people and the two Disney princesses involved in this film. So,
My God.
because she worked with them. So, she talked to them in it. And in most cases, you record the audio before you do the animation. So they probably had no idea what this final product was going to end up looking like. And like I said, it was produced on consumer grade animation tools in 2020.
Right.
In 2002, I should say. And it was, mind you, they had 4 months to produce this too.
I know
4 months to animate it. And
that's not...
the movie was broadcast in syndication on national television on a bunch of WB channels back then and some CBS and ABC channels. But it played during December at some time in all of the top 100 cities in the country and maybe more.
That's like, how do they see that and be like, okay, that's good enough to run on TV?
So,
like, come on. Like, it looks like...
A lot of it boils down to the fact that they had contracts and agreed to it before they ever saw a frame of footage.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I was a senior in high school in 2000. I was in a web page design class, double period. And the shit that we came up with was pretty much on par with this animation of this movie. 1 year of taking that class.
Yeah, and so where'd that go? So let me see if I can get this to work. What the hell? Why is this not working? Okay, so here's a little bit of what we got. Okay, so Kennedy Rose, whose dad was one of the producers of the film, because there was a company called something. What is it? It was produced by J. Rose Productions. They were one of the people that put the funding behind this movie, and so she on Twitter a few years ago came out with these tweets here. This was back in, actually not a few years ago, like 8 years ago. She said, okay. So way back in 2002, my dad teamed up with his friend and they started a production company called J. Rose Productions. They had this great idea for a Christmas movie, a tale about how the best gifts come from the heart. It was going to be a huge hit. They got some great voice actors, Jodi Benson, Paige O'Hara, and Mark Hamill. If you don't know who Mark Hamill is, he is Luke motherfucking Skywalker. That's what she said. So then they got some animators on board, a guy with a company called Wolf Tracer. He seemed legit at the time. Wrong. The animation was absolutely horrible. Everybody looked like a sex doll.
What? I don't know about that, but
when she shows some screen grabs of Nicole here, it does look like a sex doll, and
okay,
almost as much as Donald Trump did when he was standing in front of the garbage truck when he was pretending to be a garbage man.
Yeah.
So she says, my dad, however, was totally unaware of everything that was going on. He didn't check on the production at all. He only saw it when it aired. On a fateful Christmas in 2002, it premiered on a bunch of stations that Warner Brothers owned. Warner Brothers approved of this and let it go on TV. Barely anybody watched. It only aired once, but when you saw it, oh God, you saw it. You could not unsee it.
Wow.
The terrible animation, you could not unhear the awful raps and whiny songs. Children screamed, parents wept, and let us not forget Grandma. Oh God, Grandma. I have the script for this movie. She was actually supposed to be saying words. So my dad dumped about $500,000 into the streaming shit pile of a movie for it to air once and never be heard of again. All of the copies of the movie were lost. We could only find demo reels on VHS until it resurfaced on YouTube in 2015. And now we have the most beautiful Christmas story of all time. Rapsittie street kids believe in Santa. So forgive me for not remembering what the guy's name is, but there was a guy in Australia who was bound and determined to find this movie. He contacted the director, who was still alive at the time, back in 2015, and wanted access to it to put it up because he's like one of these guys that tries to save lost media online. And so he found the guy's email through a friend of his who was also trying to get the film or whatever. And then he took over the conversation about it. And the director told him that he could get it to him and he needed to make a copy somehow onto digital to be able to send it to him, and that it was going to cost him $250. Or no, not $250. $125. And so he said, okay, I'll pay that, to do that. And then the guy comes back and he's like, oh, I accidentally made 2 copies, so it costs $250 now.
Oh, okay.
And then he never sent it to him.
Yeah.
At first.
Of course.
And then he ghosted him completely.
Yeah.
And then eventually he did get a hold of him. But this is where the Scientology shit comes in. Some of the emails were talking about Xenu and shit.
Okay. Wow.
And he eventually, the guy, the director, put up another animated film he has, which also stars Mark Hamill, that looks just as bad as this one, maybe a little bit better. Something about dinosaurs or something.
Okay.
I'll look
By the
that
way,
up. Yeah.
Xenu is the bad guy in Scientology, just in case people don't know.
No, I thought Xenu was a good guy. I don't know, whatever it was, but
okay.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Okay,
but anyways,
cool.
he's part of Scientology, so people that don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
So that's where the Scientology comes in. Anyways, he got the this is all off the top of my head from memory. He commented on this guy's video that he put up talking about how he fucked him over out of money. And then the guy turned off the comments on his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And but eventually he got a hold of him, and eventually he ended up sending him a copy, I guess. And then so he ended up putting it up online. I mean, I'm sure there was other steps in there too, but I can't remember everything.
Yeah.
But he ended up putting it up online, and that's how everybody seems to know this movie now.
Wow.
And so I watched an interview recently too with Deborah Wilson, who plays Great Grandma. A lot of people thought that they took her audio and like fucked with it and like, rearranged the audio to make it sound like she was, doing that. Look up this. I might put it in our show notes. There's a video of her reenacting that. She actually did that live.
Oh my God.
That wasn't anything else. So the director told her that Grandma speaks gibberish, and the only words you can really understand are Christmas.
Okay.
So that's what she did, and they went with it. But yeah, watching her do it live is interesting because like this kid who's interviewing her, they like are like amazed by it, like they think it's awesome. So but yeah, that's some of the trivia for this movie. Yeah.
Crazy, man. Like,
yeah,
all of it is just.
Mm-hmm.
I like it when it's one of these movies where there's like a story behind it.
Yeah. And so Mark Hamill's been interviewed and he doesn't remember making the movie at all. He's done so much voice work, but he's like, I don't even know what that is.
He probably showed up for like one day and like did all of his parts.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
Like, well, he only has a few lines. I mean,
yeah, and I mean, this was when Mark Hamill was like at the top of his voice game too. I mean, because this was like after Batman the Animated Series where he was the Joker and stuff like that. So it's like,
oh, he's a Joker. That's cool.
Oh, you didn't know he was the Joker on Batman the Animated Series?
Not know.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
he is my favorite Joker, period. So
Nice.
yeah.
He was
So, yeah.
also in the Flash. He didn't play the Joker. He played another character that was kind of like
Yeah, and the old Flash TV series, he played Trickster.
Trickster. There, yeah.
Who was basically like the Flash's Joker.
Yeah.
That's how he got the job of the Joker. He basically was doing a similar voice, and because somebody had seen him do that, and he got it because originally what's his face from Rocky Horror? Tim. Tim.
Shit! Why am I forgetting? I know, me too. Shit. Tim. Oh my God! I can't even think of his name.
Oh my God, that's really sad. I can't either.
I'm getting mad at myself. Actually, Tim. I can't even think of it right now at all. I completely. Yeah, look him up. I can.
Tim Curry.
Yeah, Tim Curry. God damn it.
Yeah.
How did I? Okay.
I don't know how I blanked on it. I was like Tim, and it's some kind of stuff you add to food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Photoshop picture of Tim like in a bowl of curry or something like that.
I saw something where somebody did that in like a Walmart or something, and they had like curry sauce on the shelf, and then they had like one that said Tim Curry. But yeah, he was the original voice of the Joker for the pilot that they were going to use, but it ended up being that he didn't work out somehow, so they recast it with Mark. But yeah, so there's that. Any other thoughts here? I mean, there's a lot more we could say, but I'm just think I'm going to end up things here now.
No, I mean, not really. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's a very interesting movie and story behind it.
Yeah, it's definitely one for the ages, and one that you should all get together every Christmas and watch with your friends and family as you're decorating the tree and standing underneath the mistletoe and hanging the wreaths and robbing people's houses. And what else do you do at Christmas time?
What?
Oh wait, no, you don't do that.
People's houses, what? No. And I do have a tradition of watching like really bad Christmas movie or holiday movies, so that's gonna be added to it. The other one is the Star Wars holiday special I watch every year with my
Which also stars Mark Hamill.
That's right, it does, when he's like gobs of makeup on his face because he had just gotten into like a really bad car accident or something like that. And they just trotted him out. It's like, oh, you got into a terrible car accident? I don't give a shit. Here's some makeup. It's just like wow.
Cake it on your face here. Yeah, we also reviewed that a few years ago, so check that out if you in our feed here, folks. If you want to hear about another horrible holiday special. That's about all I have to say about this. Hope you enjoyed this episode, folks. Hope you have a great holiday season here. No matter what you celebrate. I'm not afraid to say happy holidays while I still can.
Yeah.
Once the new administration takes over in January, you never know. They may outlaw that.
You're gonna have to say Merry Christmas. That's the law.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All of us will have to convert to Christianity or be killed. And
Yep. Freedom.
And not real Christianity, the Jesus with an AK-47 Christmas. Christianity, I mean.
Yeah,
yes.
The heresy, the heretical version, yes.
Yes.
I'm not even joking. It's literally heresy.
Oh yeah, it's completely heresy. It's like totally like, hey, love, follow Jesus the way we want you to, or else, just like Jesus taught us to, to shun away our neighbors and, ostracize gay people and trans people. And, I remember all of those books in the Bible, don't you? And
that's when Jesus talked about something about leaving the dust from your shoes if the people don't convert. He forgot to say there's anthrax on those sandals. Then he just poisons up to people. That's what he meant by that.
And then he comes down from the cross and he turns the cross into into an AK-47 and he takes out the world. That's what he does.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's
how
that's
how you you remember that religion, the Mooney cult from like South Korea or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That guy, they're insane, man. Like they literally believe that like the disciples had like AK-47s. I'm like, how? Yeah. Anyway. They
have big wedding ceremonies where everybody's holding guns and stuff. Yeah. So God bless the USA.
Yeah.
And Santa.
Yeah. God bless Santa. Sure.
Yeah. White Santa.
Yeah. White Santa. Sorry, Black Santa. Or Asian Santa, your time is up. Now we're going back to tradition. So,
yep, we can't have Black Santa or a Black Little Mermaid.
because white nationalists like Nick Fuentes with a fucking Latin name, it's just like telling us we can't. Anyway, sorry.
Folks, I almost said pokes. Anyways, pokes. I'm gonna start calling our fans that now. Anyways, pokes.
There you go.
Be sure to check out all the charities we have listed in our show notes and donate where you can and help out where you can. If you are somebody that's suffering from any kind of bullying or anything, there's also ways that we have there listed to help for like trans people and gay people and other people that are suffering. If you know of any other good causes that we should add to our show notes, please message me. Send me an email, mike@cullenpark.com. That's cullenpark.com. Also, check out our website, all2real2.com. You can find links to all of our social media. I'm going to try to figure out how to put it up there, but Cullen Park also has a Blue Sky that I've had for years. I just never used it until now. I got rid of Twitter completely, so no more Twitter. If you try to contact me on there, the account is deactivated completely.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not supporting that guy. Anyways.
That guy. I like that.
Anyways, be sure to check out all of that stuff. Be kind to each other. Tell somebody you love them. Remember that everybody has ready to be every Christmas.
Christmas.
And just remember that I love you. Sesame loves you. Trans lives are human lives. Free Palestine. Fight the Christofascist patriarchy. And until next time.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.